Now, we've been talking about all different types of scams, and it feels like scams are coming to us in all different ways. Maybe someone's knocking on your door, maybe you're getting emails or texts, but it could also be scams involving unsolicited phone calls. They are commonplace, and it's easy to get taken in by a convincing voice at the end of the line. But there is something that we can do about those calls and even stop them from reaching us in the first place. So with me now is Kelly Ball from telecoms provider Phonely. Now, scam calls can be more of a nuisance because they can be quite distressing for people, can't they?
They really can, yeah. They can create a real feeling of isolation, shame. It's really, really important that things like the Roadshow are fantastic because it really spreads awareness about they're not alone. That's a massive part of what we do as well, and MAP is a big part of that we're going to introduce. It just makes people realise that they're not on their own. It's happening everywhere, and it is getting worse, unfortunately.
Which is a shame. And, there's something about your phone as well, something ringing your house phone as well to try and scam you out of things. It might make you not want to answer the phone to anyone. And as you say, that can leave you from feeling really isolated.
Yeah, we've done quite a lot of work with Age UK around this, actually, around loneliness. And sometimes people, we take it for granted because a lot of us just use our mobiles and we take it out with us everywhere. But a lot of people will just purely have their landline. So it is their lifeline to the outside world, really. And when you're getting a lot of nuisance phone calls, and some of these people are getting multiples every day, and you can be really frightened to answer the calls. But missing.
And that's the thing. And I think we found from actually speaking to lots of other people today that normally there's some sort of urgency. And with a phone call, maybe it's you need to act now to do it. Is that the sort of thing that you're seeing on a day-to-day basis?
What, from the scammers, you mean? Yeah, absolutely. That's one of their biggest tactics, creating that sense of urgency. The scare tactics they use. You've got to do this now, otherwise this will happen. It doesn't give you time to think, and people are busy. Everyone's busy, and if they can catch you when you're at your busiest or most vulnerable, thinking about something else, something going on in your life, they've got you exactly where they want you. So.
And what are companies like Phonely and others like you, what are you actually able to do to help people in that situation?
So we saw an opportunity with the switch over from a traditional analog line over to a digital. We've built in a lot of scam protection as part of our normal packages. So, you're going to have to, if you want to keep your landline after January 2027, you're going to have to replace it with a digital line anyway. So why not one that's got all of that scam protection in it? And our scam protection is really advanced. It's part technical and part human. So you're actually bringing a loved one in with you as well. You can you can nominate a trusted person. They will download an app to their phone, and they can oversee some of the things that are going on. So depending on how vulnerable you feel, how vulnerable they think you might be, there's certain things that might sort of trigger a real-time notification to their app, which will prompt them to join the call if you're allowing them to do that. Or if you dope on that can be a bit intrusive. You can invite them in, and that can be really useful for lots of reasons, not just scams, but just for reassurance, really.
Well, because that's what we've been hearing, actually. People, Kent Trading Standards said, look, if you're worried, take a minute, speak to someone in your family, because sometimes we can get caught up in something because it sounds urgent and you think, well, if I don't do it now, am I going to be in a worse position? So being able to bring someone in is a great thing. I mean, are you able to do anything to stop the calls coming in the first place?
We can, yeah. So this is where the MAP comes into it. So we launched our own Who Called Me page. You'll be probably familiar with that yourself. If you've got a number that's called you that you don't recognise, you'll often Google it and you'll land upon one of these pages. Well, we have our own, and you can report scam and suspicious numbers on there. And as soon as somebody does that, within the hour typically, it goes onto an internal block list. So if we see a call from any of those suspicious numbers coming into our customers, they're blocked straight away. The customer doesn't even know. So I think in the last 30 days, we've blocked just over 9,000 calls just from our own base, protected them in that way.
I mean, that's terrifying, isn't it, that there's that many? And I think, listeners of BBC Radio Kent are always telling us about the fact that they're getting calls from, and we try and call people back sometimes from the radio station. And because we come as an unknown number, people don't always answer us because people are scared. They don't know what's going to be coming. So thank you so much for coming and telling us about that, MAP. Sounds fantastic. Kelly Ball there from telecoms provider Phonely. As I say, there is still time for you to come and visit us here at the Ditton Community Centre. The scam van from Barclays.